Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Immortality Season 6 Episode 2 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. Fengshen is another wonderland. Fang Han naturally tries to cultivate. Although it is impossible to succeed, it can increase some of his understanding of the visceral vitality and his own magical power. Perhaps it is a breakthrough for Shentong's 7 Golden Dan. There are some insights in the realm of the realm that are not necessarily true. Since Fang Hanxiu has become a birth of life, after the 55 kinds of great gods have returned to one, although they have seen people killing people, they have raised their eyebrows, but they have fallen into some bottlenecks, and there seems to be a hurdle in front of them. There is no way to see the realm of Jin Dan. He knows that this is a low point of cultivation. To practice Jin Dan and break through the realm again is definitely not an easy task. Breathing, meditation, praying. The mysterious sacred spirit in the void is entangled in the 6 hexagrams, combined with the vitality of the 6 scorpions, and after 6 turns, it settles down. After practicing for a while, Fang Han felt that his viscera was much stronger. There was a small array of faintly circulating, but it was still very weak, belonging to the sprout that had just been derived. To grow and grow, it will take a few decades to cultivate. In particular, the fighting of vitality, and the 5 elements of the 5 internal organs gathered together. Suddenly, Fang Han felt the internal organs of his body, seemingly vaguely turned into a mysterious array, hiding the mystery of many days. The connection with the whole world suddenly closes. Moreover, the internal organs and the brain form 12 veins, and there is a steady stream of hidden feelings. This hidden feeling, although ambiguous, has a new understanding of his body. The human body is very mysterious. Even if you step into the longevity secret, you can't fully understand your body. Unless you cultivate to the second most important and long-lasting secret, you can truly close your body and the universe. Connected together, in the darkness of the sky, pinned on the next spiritual brand of their own, killed by people can also be resurrected with the spiritual imprint of the emptiness. Fang Han is now practicing the sacred gods. Although it is impossible to realize the realm of immortality, he knows more about his own body. In particular, the spirit of the gods that had been smelted by their own 6 sacred rituals permeated into their own family life, making the life symbol more dazzling. This asterisk is really magical, but I have to cultivate it into a small one. I have to work harder than a single one. After defeating him with Huotian, I have defeated him and have time to practice carefully. Now my cultivation is that if I give time and work hard for hundreds of years, I should have no problem in reaching the longevity secret. There is an impulse in Fang Han's heart to retreat. He is somewhat envious of those who have no intention of the world, and who have been repaired in the Dongfu for 100 years or even 1,000 years. Because cultivation and detachment are truly meaningful things, in addition, any battle is illusory. However, he will have a victory with Meng Xiaobai after a month. After he has knocked down the other side, he will fight with Huotian 7 years later. What's even worse is that I don't know what it will be like. Even if I have arranged so many pieces, I am too one to lose money, and I dare not come to the teacher to ask for sin, but after 3 years, the group meeting will definitely target myself and fight for it. In the days that follow, there will be endless plots against them. I want to cultivate a few nails with peace of mind. For hundreds of years, it is a dream. After thinking about it, Fang Han was a little tired, and suddenly he turned over and took the golden dan of Zhao Shuani and sprayed a glimpse of the gods on the 6 seals. This time, the 6 seals of the monument did not resist the refining of Fang Han. The eyes above were stunned, and finally the eyes of Fang Han were somewhat similar. The eyes of Fang Han saw where these 6 weird the eyes also see where. Fang Han looked at and the 6 eyes were in the pupils, and they actually showed the shape of. Shuddered and shouted, "Don't look at me. It's uncomfortable to be looked at by these 6 eyes. I almost feel that I have to be imprisoned. These 6 eyes are sealed. You know the evil. When I played against these 6 gods, they stared at me. I was really shackled. Later, if I didn't catch the sky, I couldn't escape. The King of Blood Night, there is a road to the heart. These 6 monuments, each of them are the best treasures, the strength is very strong, but it is difficult to make them into a Taoist device. A peak of the six-headed monument. The next thing, Fang Han is converging the Tao every day, an enlightenment Xian Gong, and the entire gate of Yuhuamen is quiet. It seems to be the calm before the storm. Those elders, true disciples, have not come to visit him. Only Indigo and Long Hao came to ask for a few drops of love. Fang Qingxue did not come to him. It seems to be really closed on the purple peak. On the mountain peak of Meng Xiaobai, there is always a horrible atmosphere. As for the peak of Huatiandu, it is still the same. No one is there. The first true disciple of Yuhuamen did not return from Tai. More than 10 days have passed, and Fang Han imagined it very differently. He thought that Tu Wan would come to the big to ask for sin, but there was no movement. It seems that he killed the Zhao Shuani and Song Wei, two famous Wei Jin masters. It seems that there is no general. He doesn't understand a bit. Of course, he did not see it. When he traveled through the space-time passage from the five elements to the world of Xianhuang, the horrible Big Hand tried to destroy him, but was stopped by the ancient demon. Otherwise, he will definitely guess what is coming. However, this is too late to see the movement and no pressure, but let him relax a lot of spirit, every day to enlighten all kinds of magical powers. Stars Promise Book, Fengshen ***, Pun with Hercules, especially it's the power of the stars, and I have quite a bit of insight. Every night, many true disciples of the Feathering Gate will see the infinite force of the reincarnation, and the many stars that are conveyed in the sky. Far from 1,000 miles away. In fact, Fang Han did not know. Just after he was rehabilitated and prepared for a month, he played Meng Xiaobai as a dead dog. Among the Feathering Gates, several meetings have been held. At this time, in the depths of the Yuhua Temple, the feathers of the White Feathers and many elders, as well as some of the sedentary masters, held a secret meeting. The location of the meeting was a mysterious space and time, closed on all sides, and there was only one huge round table in the middle. It seemed to be a mysterious condensed atmosphere. The White Feathers sat in the south of the round table, a bit southern orphaned. Taste. The rest of the elders of heaven, the elders of the sects, etc., waited for the sake of the ninefold, 10-year-old elders, all sitting, and two of them have never appeared, but they are also the heroes of the long-lived secret masters, but they are all heavy. The master just arrived at the Wan Shojing, and the elders of the sentence, but even so, it is extremely horrible. Of course, these people are not two elders, and the feathers are really two elders, all in deeper time and space. What is even more powerful is that one of the elders is actually a female, and she has trained a female master of the longevity. This time Fang Han actually dared to smash the five elements from the wild temples. It seems that he also got the control of the five elements of the land, and he was free to enter and leave the five elements. I think you already know. The wind White Feathers face all the elders alongside the round table. I know, the heads of the three great swordsmen, the symbols that were conveyed by the gods, we all looked and knew what happened in the land of the five elements. The mysterious female elder who never appeared before, this woman, the face is handsome, it seems that only 10 years old, wearing a fur vest, looks weak and windy, like a sick person who does not leave home. If you go to the world, it will certainly be considered a rich family, thousands of gold. No one can think of this woman is a giant of the ages, the hero of the longevity secret. That soft fairy respect, what do you think? Fang Han killed 2 Jindan disciples of Taiyiman, and the shots are so hot that we can't do it. Although it is 2-1 to lose money, but this loss is too much to eat. If I was killed by the door, I would kill 2 Jindan, regardless of the 3-7-21, I am going to run out to kill. The elders of the sentenced the woman. This woman, called Jiangru Soft, was once a rich lady in the secular, experienced countless joys and sorrows, and finally achieved the supreme supremacy. All masters of the longevity and secret world are the supreme, which can be called Xianzuan. Tai's Huangshan has been handed out, and it is ready to kill Fang Han and the 3 great swordsmen in the starry sky. But it was stopped. Feng Baiyu quietly said, Tai Huangshan has been shot. How is it possible? Killing him is a 2-person Jindan disciple. Tai Huangshan will shoot. Is this giant too unpretentious? Listening to the wind White Feathers, all the elders all shocked. Who is Tai Huangtian? It was the head of a tens of thousands of years ago, and it has long since retired. The characters who have participated in the Battle of the Immortals, the power of horror can pinch the stars. This kind of character is already a legendary legend. The legendary legend, even if it is a general longevity secret master, can't be seen by him. It is already flying up into a fairy, tearing the existence of the gate of the fairyland. Actually, we'll deal with a district Fang Han? Who stopped him? Jiang softly looked at the wind-white feathers and stopped talking. It seems that I want to say that even if I teach the shot, I can't stop the Tai Huang Jian. It is the ancient demon statue that was sealed in the land of the five elements. This rumor has been sealed hundreds of thousands of years ago. At that time, the masters of our masters were still not born. The ancient Buddhist temple still exists. It is rumored that this demon, commander of the 400 million demon kings, the devils of his majesty are countless. Feng Baiyu said quietly, in fact, Fang Han is so powerful that Tai Huangqian will not shoot, but this time the five elements is related to a major decision of Tai, but it was destroyed by the demon use of Fang Han. This time, one of the original ones wanted to be a big fan, and I came to the door to oppress it, but because the demon statue prevented the behavior of Tai Huangshan, it made Tai Huangshan a bit scrupulous, so the one who was 2-1 did not do it. The ancient magic demon seal of the five elements of the land. Sure enough, it is no wonder that the emperor has scruples. Too many doors have not come to the door for so long. But this thing does not know whether it is a blessing or a curse. Another long-life secret giant picking up the tongue seems to be the ins and outs of chewing on this matter. The ancient demon must have a plan to teach the monstrous of Meng Xiaobai, and now take Fang Han as a pawn, clearly to achieve a big purpose. In this meeting, in addition to Feng Baiyu, there are 3 giants of the longevity secret. The elders of the sentence, Jiang Soft, and this is the man who spoke. The man, wearing a grey robes, was playing with a black wishfulness. His face was a bit deserted, and he was somewhat dissatisfied when he mentioned Fang Han. This Fang Han is too troublesome, too many offended people. And the ancient demon, I don't know what secrets are on him. I suggest that this one can't stay. If something goes wrong afterwards, I can't afford it. If you want to talk like this, you can talk about this. This side of the cold repair is not the same as a small one. After the practice of this life, there is a vision of blowing a snail and hitting the drum. This is a solid foundation that is rare in 1,000 years, than Hua Qianju. The foundation must be arrogant, such a disciple, give up easily, you confused. The elders of the day sentence looked at the man coldly and suddenly blamed the exit. This man is called Rui, and is an elder who supports Hua Tiandu. In the early days, Hua Qianju's Puyang magic weapon, Qianji Tiangsu, was made by him, and then he was given Hua Tiandu. Therefore, Fang Han's pair of Hua Qianju had a threat to fight for the big position in the future. He was very alert immediately. Try to expel Fang Han, so as not to offend too much. 10. Is it my confusion or you are confused? Don't forget, now Hua Qian is still practicing in Tai, and it is necessary to use the fairy of Tai to cultivate the longevity secret. Now this thing is not squandered. How will Tai Iman be against Hua Tiandu? Ruyizi said coldly, a person who is a ***** of 6-way homage is important, or a long-lived mysterious giant is important. Also, Hua Qian is now extremely strong. Panwu vigorously cultivated to the limit, and once broke through the longevity secret. I am afraid that I will directly understand the body of immortality, and I will still be above you and me. Who is light and heavy? If you say it, the square cold is strong, and it is not cultivated. It's hard to say how long the secrets of longevity are. The realm of this layer, how many hardships there are, how many adventures and fate to have, you and I don't know. It's not good for Hua Qian, it's equal to the existing clock. Hit, and turn to copper. Is there such a thing? I don't agree with the expulsion of Fang Han. Isn't this one not oppressing us? And what is the reason for expelling him? The reason is not to be said. But Fang Han shot and killed 2 big Jindan giants. This is really too shocked. I am afraid that one is not a problem now, but I will not be willing to give up in the future. The elders on the face are very worried. Let him kill the 2 Jindan disciples, it is impossible. Not to mention him, even if it is a demon, the devil does not dare. However, the expulsion of Fang Han, to please the one thing, he did not agree. Fang Han, I don't agree to expel him. The first is that there is no reason. It is a match with Tai. The three big swordsmen have seen it. Too much food is fattening and besieging him. Fang Han was forced to kill. If we expelled Fang Han from this and the next door, even the magic door will laugh at our feather door is weak and incompetent. Second, expelled Fang Han must be drawn by the magic road, not worth the candle. Even the three major swordsmen will collect. You must know that Fang Han has a picture of Huang Quan. Who is not in the world? Ginger Soft, this ancient giant hits the table with his fingers. Then let him leave Huang Quan to all the devices on his body, and then expel him out. Ruyizi said coldly, I have sheltered him for so long, and it is reasonable to leave something. The advantage of this time is that he has gotten himself. Is it possible for me to make all the things for him, to destroy the unity of the fairy, to offend one door? Moreover, the ancient magical deities are arranged on him and will be feathered to me in the future. It is hard to say if there is any harm. I don't agree to expel Fang Han. Don't forget, he is a good hand of alchemy. He has cultivated to the 5 emperors, and the emperor of the Qing dynasty can make the elixir directly into the essence, and he can refine Yuan Ying Dan indefinitely. It is 1,000,000. This kind of resource, I hate the door, 10 years and 8 years, how many mysterious secret disciples? Thousands? 10,000 said not necessarily. 300 or 500 years later, I became the door of Yu Huamen. It's not unusual for that huge scale. You are not a master, you don't know how expensive it is. The elder king of medicine directly stood up and shook his head fiercely. He was in charge of the medicinal medicine of the martial art. Although there was a Dao furnace at the level of Dao, but there was a lot of material missing. How much the role of Qing Emperor Wang Huanggong had to alchemy, he more than anyone else, let alone Fang Han can refine Yuan Ying Dan, the quality is excellent. He has a magical secret magic weapon. Like the master of the long-lived mystery, he can draw the celestial spirit to make alchemy, and the weight is much larger than ours. I don't know what baby has this function. Jiang softly said. Then I took his Huang Quan Tu and the mysterious baby, and then expelled him. In short, I don't want to see our feathering door and Tai door to sin, and then Huatian has damage. You know, Huatian it is the first disciple of our martial art. The importance is much greater than that of Fang Han. For the growth of Huatianju, it is nothing to sacrifice a cold. Ruyizi is more and more sneer. How about the opinions of the head? All the elders, all look at the wind-white feathers. After all, Feng Baiyu is the supreme master of Yu Huamen. The power is not to be said, and it is also a unique show, and it also has the power to master the Emperor's mirror. All things must be seen by him. Of course, there are some elders behind him, but the elders generally do not interfere with the decision of the head. Fang Han can't be expelled. I can't protect a person from the wind. I have done a good job this time. I got the magical charm of the 5 elements. The land of the 5 elements is controlled by my feathering door, and he very clever, and the 3 swordsmen have been wooed, and they have spent 3 million yuan in infants. The elders of the 3 major swordsmen are completely on our side. And the 3 major swordsmen are taught to send secret symbols. I said that I will go forward and retreat with us. In addition, I have a symbol here, which was sent by the main couple of the stars. They said that if necessary, they can recognize Fang Han as a son. If the feather door can't shelter him, the star-studded door will be sheltered from the cold. Feng Baiyu took out a star-studded symbol and directly threw it to Ruyi. Ruyi took over Fushi and glanced at it, and then there was a shock in his face, but then he said, there is a bone on the head, and I will not be loyal to my feathering door. Now I will hook up with the stars and hoax. Still have to? Don't forget, Kung Xingmen and Yu Huamen are robbing the genius disciples in the secular world of several countries such as the dynasty. This son has done a good job in horizontal alignment. He captured Zhao Shuani and Song Wei's Jin Dan. Now he is practicing on the reincarnation peak and the small star of the Star's Gate. He is preparing to put a golden dragon to the nebula baby. The elders of the heavens are watching the wishfulness, biting their teeth, sneer again and again. In this way, I am afraid that he will control the stars in the future, and it is not necessarily true. The star owners of the Stargate are happy to see it all, because they are not blatantly giving their sons a good benefit. But it is different from Fang Han. After a few hundred years, the Nebula baby became the star of the door. There is such a relationship, which is very good for us. So, are you willing to support Fang Han, for him to fight against this huge monster? Ruyizi glanced at the elders present. If so, how does Hua Qian give birth to rebellious psychology? I have an idea. You can refer to the details. What is the idea? You said. Feng Baiyu is on the road. Open the price, offer a price to Tai. Tai has suffered a big loss this time, but it is not good to shoot, but certainly will not give up. I can't help but let us open the conditions to Tai. If too much can give us enough benefits, it can make up for the loss of Fang Han. So why don't we do it? And let Hua Qian know that our feathering door is absolutely not biased against any disciple. I see this matter, let Hua Qian go to talk with Tai. Rui's way of gloom. What do you mean that we sell our disciples for the sake of our interests? The elders are increasingly uncomfortable. I am taking care of the overall situation. Do you think that Hua Qian has turned out to be a sect and become the second exquisite fairy? I can tell you that Hua Qian is always ready to enter the longevity secret. Once he enters the longevity secret, he becomes the giants of the ancient times, with the collection of Wu Xiantuan on the hand, plus the Dongfu, and the support of Tai Yiman, can completely open the school and become the 11 gates of Xiandao. If you are a younger brother, don't forget, expel the Fang Han, and the snow will be out of the martial art. Feng Baiyu said faintly, this loss, we cannot afford it. She is the reincarnation of the Electric Mother, involving the Antiquity One big thing. It is the elders of our feathering gates who can afford the elders of the Taiku heavens in the future, and the key to tearing the door of the fairyland. If she loses, it will be more serious than Fang Han and Hua Qian. Moreover, with her speed of cultivation, it is not necessarily the first time that she has entered the longevity secrets of Hua Qian. She is the reincarnation of the ancient natural gods. This? Rui did not think of Fang Qingxue. In this way, if one is too much because of this matter, refuse to give Hua Qian a fairy cultivator, I can go and discuss with some elders and give Hua Qian some benefits. As for Fang Han, for the reputation of my feathering door, I have to work hard to save it. There is no point in dispelling him. The wind-white feathers are fixed. Fang Han naturally did not know that there were so many meetings in the Yuhua temple, all aimed at himself. And among the great elders, there is a long-lived secret giant, Rui. Because of Hua Tiandu's relationship, he is extremely disrespectful to himself. Of course, if he knows, he will definitely come up with a variety of conspiracy to design a framed rule. In the past, I heard that it was the giant of the longevity secret. Fang Han's heart was definitely very scrupulous and did not dare to act rashly, but now she has experienced a series of things, and her courage has gradually let go. Of course, he is bold and courageous. The more he is daring, the more delicate his mind is. Although he does not say that everything is in the calculation, he can also let himself not be in a dangerous situation and get the maximum benefit at the same time. It is his principle not to falsify means, to frame all his enemies, and to unite and draw all his friends. These days, the Yuhua temple is in a meeting. He cultivates with peace of mind and enlightens the relationship between the Fengshen and the 5 emperors. At the same time, he gathers the power of the stars to consolidate his life. Now his main task is to continue to practice, to understand the life of the symbol, as well as his own physical changes, so that his body's vitality will grow again, mutual verification, and finally change, turn Fuxi into Jindan. After the Nebula baby, after learning the Stars Promise book, although there is no cultivation, but with his own future star ***, mutual verification, the progress is also fast. After cultivation to the supernatural, yin and yang, it does not stop. It seems there is a tendency to continue to rise. It seems that we must understand the heavens and the people, unite the formation and become a real person. After entering the magical 5-day world, become a real person, he can refine a golden Dan. This way back to the martial art, bulls. So even though the Nebula baby is very lazy and wants to sleep late every day, he has to work hard to cultivate. As for the owner of Hongi County, after stepping into the mysterious secrets, she was also trying to cultivate. Fang Han took a piece of the black water king snake and made a vestment for her. Hexianzi is trying to accumulate mana, waiting for the future to lead the thunder, slamming down, making his blood flow, transforming into a human being. On this day, Fang Han was practicing, and suddenly felt that outside the Guardian big array, a burst of induction, and quickly waved his hand. The two large arrays of Guardian rounds of the peaks opened, thunder swayed, and a woman's wonderful man appeared in the Dan room. The shape is Fang Qingxue. It turned out that the sister is coming, please sit down. Fang Han quickly stood up. Now, he is not afraid of Fang Qingxue, but after all, he came from a family, and the interests of the two are now closely combined to deal with Hua Qianjie. At this time, when he was offended by too much difficulty, Fang Qingxue was also the most ally to be wooed. Pub Future adds. I am here, I want to ask you for a cup of water. Fang Qingxue looked at Fang Han, as if he was estimating his cultivation, and congratulations, you have cultivated to the sixfold world, practicing to this realm, WAN the law is one, and the power is greatly increased. The teacher and sister have won the prize. I can't think of the teacher's practice so fast. I have actually practiced Jin Dan not long ago. It seems that compared with the speed of cultivation, the sister is the first. Fang Han took a wave, a large group of yellow the forgotten water from the Huangquan map rushed out and fell into the magic weapon of Fang Qingxue. Sisters must use this to forget the water, wash Jin Dan. Yes, my golden Dan is too fast, there are many impurities, but with the help of forgetting the water, I can wash the impurities, save me a hard work of using a thunderstorm to exercise Jin Dan. There are more than 10 days. You have to fight with Meng Xiaobai. I want to remind you that Meng Xiaobai can't be underestimated. He hides deeply. I can't beat him, but your current mana is still above me. There are many magic weapons, but I am not afraid. But to be stable and to hold him down, there are still some difficulties. I took you a cup of forgotten water, it is impossible to take it. I used this reindeer as an exchange. This relic, it is the heavenly emperor that was condensed by the ancient Lei Di, not under the Ju Jin Jin Dan, Yin Yang Wanshou Dan. After taking it, not only the increase of Shouyuan, but also the transformation of its own root bone into a thunderbolt, there is a heaven and earth thunder. The function of lightning communication. Take this one for the sake of forgetting the water, you will not suffer, but also earn a little. Our snow is never cheap. Fang Qingxue took away the water, and his face did not move. From his own magic weapon, he took out a medicinal herb and flew it to Fang Han. This medicinal herb is black and black, like the dark clouds in the sky, but inside the medicinal herbs, many lightnings in the shape of a dragon snake are flashing, and the inside is shocked and held in the hand. Immediately there was a feeling of being in the thunder and lightning, which was shocking. Good things, good things. This is the ancient medicine of the ancient Lei Di refining. It is indeed not under the Ju Jin Jin Dan. After taking it, your bones will become Lei bones, then it is the legendary fairy bone. Lei Fa is the head of the law, even the 5 emperors of the magical demon to practice the great perfection will produce the 5 elements of the gods and thunder. Fang Qingxue actually took this thing to change the love of water, showing that she does not want to owe you. Wow, wow, I yelled. No wonder she practiced so fast. There is such a thing to wash the marrow. Unfortunately, she lacks aura now. If she can absorb the celestial spirit like you, the speed of cultivation is only more than that of Meng Xiao. White. According to the price of the ancient times, forgetting the water is not the same as this remedy. But now Huangquan Emperor has collected the forgotten water and monopolizes it, that is the price. Fang Han listened to the words of, and did not move, and received Lei Lei relic. Since the sister is not willing to owe me, then the exchange is equivalent. I have a lot of Yuan Ying Dan here. If the teacher lacks Dan medicine, you can take magic weapons, materials, in exchange for. I will be much cheaper. This time the Mountain River List contest, The martial art rewarded a lot of items. In addition to a yin and yang Wanshuden, the first place has a magic weapon, is the top quality treasure. Called the Three-Dragon Whip, you also hope the people under your hand get it. In this way, I display the lightning refining shape, and strengthen the mana for your redness, so that she can win the first place in the Mountain River list. It also transforms the crane fairy body and transforms it. Adults also transform the physique of the Nebula baby. You give me 1,000,000 yuan baby Dan, still on my purple peak, the next Qingdiwood Emperor reign, let all the medicine, what about the elf? Fang Qingxue really moved and proposed a transaction, but it was also reasonable and the two sides did not suffer. Fang Han thought for a moment, I don't know if there is any Lei Li relic in my sister. I am willing to spend another 1,000,000 yuan to buy. For the remedies such as, Fang Han is really eye-catching, although these Lindane can only take one, then taking it will greatly reduce the potency, it is not worth it. But if you take it to the Nebula baby, the chances of breaking through the heavens are much bigger. 1,000,000 granules of infant Dan, you can buy a smashed dish like the Da Fan Guangming ship, in exchange for the remedy such as Leisha relic, it is also worth it. Do you have so many spirits? After 3 months of rumors, you have to give the 3 swords or elder to 1,000,000 people. I see you alchemy, you can produce 1,000,000 a month. Isn't it possible to get the medicinal herbs after the 4th month? Fang Qingxue said, there are not a few of them. I will have a lot of effects in the future. If you don't use it for your love, this will not happen. Take it out. This is all right. Since the sister is not willing to sell, I am not reluctant. In this way, 4 months later, the sister came to me to take 1,000,000 medicinal herbs. Now let the crane fairy, the Red Lord, and the Nebula baby wash the body. Fang Han knows what character Fang Qingxue is, so he also talks about business. When he got here, he couldn't help but find a few pieces of the Tree of the World, so that the celestial spirit could pick up a little more, so that it would not be stretched. Originally thought that he became the big rich man, the biggest chaebol in the monastic world, but did not expect to advance. The cost is really too big. Good. I brought them back to the Purple Peak. 4 months later, I came to take the medicinal herbs. On the top of Fang Qingxue, an electric sign shines, suddenly a suck, Nebula baby, Hongyi County, and Hexianzi are sucked. Go in. After a bang, Fang Qingxue disappeared without a trace. Lei Fa, the most effective for exercising, or else monsters, grass and wood elves will not rely on the thunder, making themselves into adult. The inexhaustible electrical sign is really powerful. Even the 5-star bracelets of the sun and the moon have no chance to compete. I sighed, the electric sign on the snow head of Fang Qing, it was a Shangping, almost no special, although there was no emperor. So powerful, but it is definitely a good baby that many longevity secret masters don't have. When Fang Qingxue sucked away the Nebula baby, the 5-star bracelet of that day was countered by the Lingxing Zen, but it did not help. This is a reindeer. I take a look at it. In the end, it will be powerful to convert all the bones in the body into bones. I know that my body is much stronger than the average monk. After the demon was completed, the Jurassic golden body has changed again. Fang Han took Fang Qingxue's Thunderbone relic and looked at it. He felt the powerful thunder power inside, and could not help but secretly, he was not familiar with Leifa, but he also knew that this Lingdan had a big effect. A fierce spurt out, wrapped in the Lei bone relic, swallowed in the stomach. It's awkward. Nourishing and nourishing, no matter how many electric sparks flashed on Fang Han, the whole person became an electric person. In each pore, a small arc was continuously sprayed to form a spark, and the floor of Dan Fang was touched. When these electric sparks were turned into black, they collapsed and began to melt. The power of this electric spark is so big. Good powerful medicine. Fang Han did not think that this medicinal medicine is fierce, not a grade than Ju Jin Jin Dan. Fortunately, it is himself. If it is someone else, it will be vaporized by electric fire in an instant. The rest is coming. This overbearing remedy. What is the most important thing for the monks? Not mana, not supernatural, but flesh. When the flesh is dead, all magical powers will disappear, and the mana stored in the sea will vanish, and no one can control such a phenomenon. Even if you are a master of the longevity secret, you must protect your body and exercise your body. Therefore, the second realm of the longevity secret is the body of immortality. In fact, although the body of Fang Han is very strong, it can be compared with the powerful flying sword. However, when he is fighting with others, he will not use the flesh and other people's magic weapons to fight hard. This is a matter related to his own life. If there is damage, crying is too late, it will affect the future cultivation. In particular, the brain is even more injurious. Once injured, the mana will pass away and eventually become a waste. So no matter what the monk is, he will try his best to strengthen his body. The best way to strengthen your body is to take some secret medicines from ancient times, and to cultivate some magical powers that help the body. For example, Fang Han has a golden iron bone handprint, which is very helpful to the body after cultivation. The Emperor's Road in the Five Emperors' Great Devil Spirit is also very helpful to the body. After the cultivation of the golden body of the Jurassic, the physical strength of the body was destroyed, coming and going like electricity, killing people invisible, can be used to smash the flying sword, and use the flesh to penetrate the rock. But now, at this moment, after taking the thunderbolt, he found that these magical powers are far from the help of this relic. After the body's pores ejected a strong electric spark, Fang Han used his own mana to guide the huge force 1 inch and 1 inch into the body. A large amount of lightning power tempered every inch of the skin of Fang Han. Each meridian, especially the bones, actually draws the power of thunder, gradually transforms from white color to sparkling crystal. Lightning is generally dazzling. Each root the bones have powerful evil spirits and the power of killing. Especially the skull of the head. It began to grow, and the bones inside became red bones. There was a layer of crystal lightning on it. When it encountered foreign objects, it immediately penetrated and killed the enemy. In this way, even if the enemy's flying sword magic weapon broke his bodyguard, and even his life, and killed him, there is still a last layer of protection. Moreover, the power of the thunder has entered its own knowledge of the sea, and even let its own knowledge of the sea expand again. Although it still accommodates the magical power of the next Golden Dawn, the space for running the life symbol is even greater. More than enough. Hey, he. The bones of Fang Han's body were evenly increased by 3 inches and expanded by 3 inches, making him look like a whole body. The bones are particularly strong, and the whole body has a kind of outward expansion, and the explosive power is amazing. Originally, after the 5 emperors were trained, there was a layer of 5-color light in the bones of the whole body, and the diamonds were general. But now, after the refinement of the reincarnation, the 5 colors of light converge again, combined with the power of the thunder, resulting in a powerful tearing force. The most powerful thing is his left hand. That is, the palm, arm, and fingers that combine the skylight hand. Even the violent thunder's power was absorbed by a large part, and Fang Han was free to grab 5 fingers. The virtual shadow of the sky-covered magic hand flashed out, and there was a layer of lightning tearing power, and the power was strengthened again. Of course, there are some more potent forces that are directly captured by Fang Han's Bei Ming Fu. His symbol adds a lot of entangled electro-optic light, and some faintness is similar to that of not extinguishing electric sign. Among his life, there are still some thunder and lightning, such as virtual crystal power claws. After absorbing the power of the thunder, the power is more powerful. After 10 days passed, finally, the lightning sparks ejected from him were finally collected into the body, apparently refining all the potions. The absorption of this Lei bone relic is no less than that of Jiui Jindan. Standing up, Fang Han, the whole person, changed the look again. The skin of the whole body was fair. It seems that there is nothing special, but if the person with high vision can see the depth of every inch of his pores, it seems to be a thunder's world. In his pupils, there is also a faint flash of electric signs, and every trace of hair has a hint of lightning. At this moment, he seems to feel that if he is thundering in the sky, he can **** the lightning bolt into his mouth, swallow it in his stomach, and then refine it. This is a change in physique, and it becomes a body of the Holy Spirit that can communicate with the thunder. And medicinal herb transforms the constitution. It's so powerful, it's amazing. My mana has not grown much, but my physique has once again strengthened. The power of this reindeer is really strong. With my cultivation, I have absorbed 10 days to refine. My body, happy to say, Fang Qingxue has such a drug, it is no wonder that she practiced so fast. This medicinal herb is indeed powerful, but it is nothing compared to the elixir. In the same year, Huang Quan, the emperor, once received an elixir, called Shengsheng Huahua pill, which became an undead body after taking it. He shakes his head. Xiandan? I can't help but suffer. After taking it, I will definitely explode and die. There is no other end. Maybe only the master of the longevity secret can take the elixir. Fang Han smiled. He now feels that his body is strong, and Shou Yuan seems to have increased a lot. At least 3,000 years of life. Getting this kind of reindeer relic, improving physical fitness, I have a greater grasp of the victory over Meng Xiaobai. Fang Han pinched his left hand, a group of magical fire in the thunder and lightning, in this magic hand underneath, nothing can be spared. I don't know that Meng Xiaobai did not practice cultivation and came to heaven and earth. How much is his heaven and earth law, and how powerful is it? The days of decisive battle against us seem to be coming soon. Just as his voice just fell, it seemed that he felt his majestic war. Bang! A force of solitude can rise from afar, and the earth is shaking. Although the reincarnation peak of Fang Han has the guardianship of the mountain guard, it also shakes like a big tree in the wind. Good mana! Fang Han Hua is a crystal light flying from the Danfang, looking far away, and surely, the mountain where Meng Xiaobai lived in the distance, a seemingly inhuman, like a demon is not a demon, like a fairy Qianshu is generally, straight into the Han. Sure enough, Meng Xiaobai has become a heaven and earth law, and is making breakthroughs. The magical powers are 9, the law of heaven and earth is really powerful, and the momentum is strong enough. I can see what it looks like at the end. Fang Hanzui appeared sneer. He is now at this moment, there is a confidence to win, and the war is very embarrassing. However, knowing oneself can win every battle. It does not prevent him from observing the extent to which the world of heaven and earth that Meng Xiaobai has parasitized after the smashing of the giant egg. That huge atmosphere continued to rush to a few thousand feet, attracted all the true disciples. Some elders of the Yuhua temple came out to watch. The cloud water stirs up 3,000 feet, swallows the sun and the moon in the belly, spreads the wings and flies in the stars, and the heavens and the world are my emperors. Suddenly, the huge breath condensed at high altitude, and then turned into a teenager. It is Meng Xiao white, but very tall, with a cloud of water under his feet, especially behind him, with 6 white wings. This wing seems to be a kind of condensed, and there is a circle of characters on the white feathers. Flowing, every time I flap the wings, the wind between the heavens and the earth seems to have heard the call of the 6 wings, gathered in madness, from all directions, from the sky to the sky, etc., every corner gather. Some of the true disciples of Yuhuamen, the elders, seem to feel a lot of wind, derived from spirituality. The elf of the wind whizzed past the earth and flew past. At this moment, Meng Xiaobai, who has 6 pairs of white wings, is the master of the wind, the emperor of the wind. Some of the disciples changed color because they found that they could not fly. The airflow in the heavens and the earth does not listen to them at all. Even if it is a mana, it can't control the airflow. They even felt that Meng Xiaobai had to flap his wings and violently, and the hills of the feathered gates would be blown by the wind. It is still powerful. Fang Han saw Meng Xiaobai, who has 6 wings. He knows that this is not his true form, but the world and the earth, which combines the life characteristics of Kunpeng and cultivates the Gongpeng Yuanshan. Very powerful, dealing with the airflow of the heavens and the earth, the manipulation of the wind. There is no magical power comparable. It seems that I saw Fang Han staring at him in Shanfeng Mountain. Meng Xiaobai's wings of heaven and earth suddenly accelerated the frequency of fanning. Hey, hey, hey! The voice of the devil crying. There are many devil phases formed by the wind under the wings, whistling toward the peaks of Fang Han. These winds and devils turned over the river. Wherever they went, the roots of the trees were pulled out. The boulder on the ground was also blown into the sky, rotating at high speed, and the sand and stone collided with Mars. Meng Xiaobai's heaven and earth law, the **** of Peng Peng seems to be a wing to blow the peak of Fang Han's reincarnation. Humph! Fang Han is cold and cold. The fingers bounced, and 1,000 rounds of bright moon suddenly appeared on the mountain peaks. Suddenly there was a bright light between the heavens and the earth, and the infinite sword gas cut through the air and roared out. Thousands of bright moons rise and fall in the reincarnation peaks, clear and cold, and the silver frost sprinkles down, shining the heavens and the earth to the glory and holiness. Hey, he. When Yang Yujian launched, he directly cut the wind demon that was blown, and the hurricane between the heavens and the earth subsided. Meng Xiaobai, congratulations, you have practiced the heavens and the earth. I am waiting for you. Since you have succeeded in cultivation, you must be brave, and you can't wait for a moment. It's better for you and me. Today, go to the platform. How is the war? Who wins and wins, and today I will see the difference. Will you not be happy? Fang Han body is flying up. Come on. Meng Xiaobai's voice is far from being conveyed. I can't wait any longer. Without the sword, I have to contaminate some blood to sacrifice the sword. Fang Han, since you want to die earlier, do I have any reason for you? This video will end here. Like video and subscribe to my channel.